Good morning.
Yes, it is. Hey, gorgeous. What?
Nothing.
What am I, chopped liver?
What's he doing here?
I don't know.
Who's it gonna be, Jordan?
Him or me?
Jordan Kavanaugh. Where? Okay, on my way.
Gabby, what did I tell you about music this early? Come on.
I'm sorry, Dad. I forgot.
It's a sweet system.
Who are you? Who is he?
Dad, this is Chad. I told you about him, remember?
Hey.
Chad came all the way down from Albany last night just to come be with me. It's cool if we stay till the end of my break, right?
I'm late for work.
His name is Gregory Black. He's a sergeant in the U.S. Army.
You know who the other glass belongs to?
No, neighbor said he lived by himself and rarely had any visitors.
3 gunshot wounds to the chest above sea level. I'll need to collect the water before I can figure out what actually happened down below.
What about time of death?
Water temperatures affected fluidity and rigor. I'll check his vitreous potassium levels back for more.
Hey.
Guess you haven't told Pollock yet what happened between us.
I didn't need to. He figured it out.
Oh. And?
And every time I bring it up, he changes the subject. It's only been a couple days. Maybe he just needs some space.
You should talk to him, Jordan.
Well, well. Isn't this romantic?
Come on, Pollock. You know the drill. Reporters on the other side of the tape.
What do you think, Kavanaugh? The crime of passion?
Too soon to tell.
Some poor bloke finds his wife or girlfriend is cheating on him, decides to even the score, give the cheating bastard what he deserves.
You know what, Pollock, this really isn't the time.
No, it's all right, Jordan. If you've got something that you want to say,
Stay away from my girlfriend.
What the hell? You don't own me.
I should have dragged his sorry out of bed, beat the crap out of him, then paid him $100 to stay the hell away from her.
Bribery and assault, then when you parent of the
What
year.
I saw this morning, that was an assault to my sensibilities.
Face it, Garrett, she's all grown up. Either deal with it or she'll stop dealing with you.
Yeah. What do we got?
Leo Fulton, 54, resides in Philly, collapsed on the T. Medical records show a history of congestive heart failure.
He was pretty sick to be traveling.
Leo had another curious bit of history. I ran his name through the system, got a hit back from the Boston PD. 23 years ago, Leo was arrested for the kidnapping of Henry Hurst.
Significant swelling of the ankles.
It was the Lindbergh case of the 80s. 2-year-old Henry Hurst snatched from his parents' Beacon Hill estate in the dead of night.
Yeah, I remember.
For a ransom note demanded $50,000. Leo, he's the Hearst gardener, he was arrested when they found his prints at the scene, but his trial ended in a hung jury.
Pronounced neck veins, too.
A year later, young Henry was found dead. They never did apprehend his killer.
What does any of this have to do with how this man died?
Well, nothing, I suppose.
What Mr. Fulton needs is a chest x-ray. If his heart's enlarged, I won't bother opening him up.
Dr. Macy, this is Mr. Fulton's son.
So sorry about your father.
Thank you. Hey. Hey, Pops.
What was your father doing in Boston?
We used to live here. He wanted for us to make this trip together, but he never told me why. When he got something in his head, My dad was a stubborn man.
All indicators point to heart failure. Chest X-ray should confirm it.
Thank you.
feel like a pool boy.
Without the fringe benefits.
How's it going?
How's it look?
How are you?
Fine. You pulled those slugs yet?
Yeah, 9mm. I ran them to the database. No matches.
Black worked as a logistics specialist at the General Supply Center out of Camp Harrison. Just returned from a tour of duty in Iraq last month.
I ended up here. Time of death was between 10 and midnight.
And I'm guessing his hot top honey was a redhead.
You sure it's not just red from all the blood?
More like from a bottle.
I'll run it for DNA. For all we know, it could be the killers.
Woody, I'm sorry about Pollock. I mean, I'm the one who's been mad at, not you.
If some guy just slept with a woman I wanted to marry, I probably would have done a lot worse.
Marriage? Who said anything about marriage?
I just assumed that he asked you.
To marry him? Why would you assume that?
He bought you a ring, Jordan.
How do you know that?
Nigel told me.
Nigel? How does Nigel know?
You know what? This is probably something you have to work out with Pollock. I gotta go talk to Black CO.
Black pulled 3 men from a burning Humvee after it hit a landmine, all while under fire. Earned him a Silver Star.
Colonel, can you think of anyone who might have wanted the sergeant dead?
No, well liked by everyone. His men are going to take it hard.
What did his duties entail?
Worked in the Uniform and Armory Division, shipping out equipment, ordering merchandise. We're a major supply center for our troops overseas.
Did he have a girlfriend?
You should ask Captain Osborne. They interact more on a day-to-day basis.
Where can I find him?
She's over there. One on the right.
The redhead.
Greg and I were in love. Neither of us went looking for it, but we just had this undeniable connection.
Isn't it taboo for an officer to fraternize with an enlisted soldier?
Could be court-martialed.
Wow.
Dishonorable discharge won't even get you a job flipping burgers.
Have you ever been in love, Detective?
Sure. Why?
It's worth the risk.
Maybe Sergeant Black fell out of love. Maybe he wanted to end things.
No.
If you couldn't be with him, then no one else could.
Do you think that I did this?
Your registered firearm. It's a Beretta 9mm, right?
Look, you can run a ballistics test. The sooner you eliminate me as the suspect, the sooner you will catch the son of a who did this.
All right. Tell me about last night.
Got to Greg's place at 1800 hours, 6 o'clock. He'd been stressed lately, so I suggested we get into a hot tub.
Stressed? Why?
A buddy from his old unit was killed a few days ago. He took it pretty hard.
Okay. What next?
We ordered Thai food. I surprised him with a bottle of champagne. It was our 6-month anniversary. We sat in the hot tub for about another half an hour, and then I had to get back to the base.
What time's that?
9:30.
Can anyone verify that?
The guards at the main gate can.
Thank you, Captain. I'll be in touch.
Detective. My relationship with Sergeant Black.
If it has nothing to do with this case, your secret's safe with me.
She didn't do it.
We're back to square one. Oh, great. Here comes Mike Tyson.
I can't. I just can't.
Should I take that personally?
Yeah. You here to apologize?
Not a chance. This is business. Regarding the murder of Sergeant Black, does the Boston PD have any comment about the Cradle Corporation?
What's that?
I'll take that as a no.
Hey, Pollock, if you know something.
Read tomorrow's paper.
Quantifiable growth data. Cold climate variable.
Hey, I was passing by the lab. It's Leo Fulton's chest x-rays.
Thanks, love. Hey, who's this?
It's Leo Fulton's son.
Yeah, it looks like Leo Fulton's son, but how do we know for certain that's Leo Fulton's son?
Is that a trick question?
Well, let's just say it's all bloody relative.
Right.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Abby. Look, Chad.
What's up, Garrett?
Would you two like to join me for some Peking duck and yang chow?
Dude, we're vegan.
It's a big menu. Come on.
Sorry, Dad. We already have plans. Look, do you think I could borrow $300 from you?
What happened to the money I just gave you?
Have you seen the price of gas?
Well, why don't you ask your mom?
Well, she said since I was staying with you.
I just paid your tuition for next semester, so things are pretty tight. Maybe before you go back.
Yeah, actually, about that, I kind of dropped out.
You what?
You know, I only went because you wanted me to. I just wanted to experience life firsthand, you know, not just read about it in some book.
Hey, is this your idea?
Abby's her own person.
I just don't want to make the same mistakes that you did. I mean, come on, Dad. You wanted to be a novelist, and now look at you.
You want to drop out, Abby? Fine. You need money? Get a job.
Pollock, use your key.
Wrong guy.
It's 5 in the morning. What are you doing here?
Look at what just hit the stands.
Sergeant Black was about to expose a cover-up.
This case just went big time. According to an anonymous source, Sergeant Black was investigating potential flaws in body armor made by the Cradle Corporation for the U.S. Army.
Soldiers go into combat thinking they're protected, but they're not. The job isn't dangerous enough.
After Pollock asked me about the Cradle Corp, I ran a check. It's a $200 million business right here in Boston. They make everything from speakers to blenders, but no red flags. My next stop is their CEO's office. Meanwhile, you need to talk to Pollock.
Why? Sure, everything he knows is there in black and white.
Yeah, everything except for the name of his source.
The word anonymous usually means someone does not want to get involved.
Tough. If this source has information that could lead us to our killer, we need it. And if Pollock doesn't want to cooperate, I'll get the DA to subpoena his... Thanks.
Pollock.
Kavanaugh. I'm glad you're here. I suppose we need to talk.
We do, but this isn't a social call. Source, I need a name.
And I need a new car. Doesn't mean I'll get one.
JT, this is serious.
Congress shall make no law prohibiting freedom of the press. Sound familiar?
Yeah, the First Amendment, I'm well aware, but this is a murder investigation. We're trying to get a killer off the streets.
I'll give you my source. I could be putting another life at risk.
Okay, Woody can offer them protection.
I'll cut him now. So that's why you're here, to do his bidding.
Oh, come on, JD, we're both after the same thing here.
Are we?
Yeah, the truth.
Yeah, well, not everyone can handle it.
Pollock! Pollock!
Name's Chad Wasserman, early 20s, lives in Albany. Anything you can find out. All right, Woody, thanks a lot.
Leo Fulton Jr. is not a junior. In fact, he's not even a Fulton.
What's this?
That's Leo Jr.'s employment physical from 2 months ago. Note the blood type. AO. Leo Sr.'s blood type is a B, which means they can't be related.
So some other guy fathered him.
No, not some other guy. Other parents. Picture's worth 1,000 words.
You think Leo Jr.'s Henry Hurst?
I bet my accent on it.
I'm sure the Hursts identified their son when they buried him 23 years ago.
You see, the boy was discovered during the spring thaw, decomposed beyond recognition. The only identifying factor was his clothing. And since DNA hadn't been discovered yet...
So what are you suggesting? We asked Mr. Fulton for a DNA sample to prove the man he's called father his whole life is not only not his father, but is in fact the man who stole him from his real family.
Does sound a bit harsh.
Yeah.
We could exhume the boy's body, test his DNA, prove he's not Henry.
And if we're wrong, we put the Hurst through the ringer all over again.
But if we're right, they get a second chance to know their son. If this was Abby, wouldn't you want that chance?
Go ahead and issue him the subpoena. His full name is John Douglas Pollock. You'll probably be able to serve him at the Chronicle offices. Thanks. Hey, are these butterscotch?
Go on, they're sugar-free.
My favorites.
That soldier who was killed, did he have a family?
No wife, no kids. His parents live in Vermont. Did he ever, call up here? You ever stop by?
I'm afraid not. Yes, Mr. Cradle. You can go on in.
The first I heard of Sergeant Black was that article of lies in the Chronicle.
So you deny the accusations that your vests are flawed?
Our contract with the U.S. Army guaranteed a 5-year warranty. We have documentation backing that claim.
Beth, bring in the body armor test results, please.
How big a contract are we talking here?
$27 million.
It's a nice chunk of change.
As honored as I am to work with our military, I am in the business of making money, Detective.
Still, you stand to lose a lot if the accusations are true.
Thanks, Beth. The vests were tested under the most rigorous conditions. I even allowed myself to be shot at to prove their durability.
That's a commitment to quality. Fellas, about this anonymous source, any thoughts on who that could be?
Employees come and go. Not all of them by choice. Someone wanted to get back at Mr. Cradle or the company. Fabricating this story would be an effective way.
It still doesn't account for the murder of Sergeant Black.
I'm sorry that we can't be of more help, Detective.
Oh, Miss Cradle, just one last question. Can you account for your whereabouts Tuesday evening between 10 p.m. and midnight?
I'm offended that you would even ask. Flying back from Aspen on my jet.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
So Cradle didn't pull the trigger. Doesn't mean he didn't get someone else to do his dirty work.
Which brings us back to your pain in Ozzy. Pollock's anonymous source is still our best bet. Speaking of which, his hearing is about to start.
You subpoenaed him?
He left me no choice. Unlucky for him, Judge Patterson has zero tolerance for journalistic integrity.
Okay, and this has nothing to do with the fact that he punched you in the gut.
I plead the fifth.
Be nice, okay?
Aren't I always?
That's rhetorical, right? Bug, what's going on?
This is Colonel Worth.
The Army's conducting its own investigation into Sergeant Black's death.
Good. We'll be working together then.
That's not how the Army works.
They're confiscating Sergeant Black's remains.
Over my dead body.
I have direct orders from the Pentagon.
That means Jack to me. Bring me a federal court order, we'll talk.
He has one.
Did you know about Sergeant Black's investigation?
If I'd known, maybe he'd still be alive.
But the Army is pulling the best from use while they investigate, right?
You go to war with what you have, not what you want. Now, if you'll excuse me.
It was stormy that night. When I heard the noise, I thought it was the shutters. If I'd only gotten up. And we lost Henry. We lost everything. My family's business, the estate.
We nearly lost each other.
Mr. and Mrs. Hurst, I thought long and hard before coming here, dredging up the past. I'd like your permission to exhume your son's body.
Why?
Well, some new evidence has come to light in your son's case.
They catch his killer?
No.
Doctor, please, if you know something.
Look, I'm not sure, but it's possible that the boy you buried wasn't your son.
Are you? Are you saying that Henry might still be alive?
I'm saying that the boy you buried might not be Henry. By exhuming his body, we can extract his DNA, run some tests, and be sure.
Do it.
Okay.
Last chance, Pollock.
Like I told the judge, I'm a man of my word. Knock yourself out.
John Douglas Pollock, I'm placing you under arrest for contempt. You get the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Without Greg's body, I'm gonna have to get creative.
Look, I could get in a lot of trouble for doing this. Come on.
How many of our soldiers use these in Iraq?
120,000.
If I can figure out where the flaw is, maybe it'll get us one step closer to the killer.
You know, Greg's buddy who was killed a few days ago, Greg told me that his vest failed, but I didn't put two and two together till I saw this morning's paper.
Does you know his name?
Yeah, Private First Class Christopher Gurney. He and Greg went to high school together.
So then he's from Boston?
Yes.
Can you get me in touch with his next of kin?
Yeah.
Christopher was stationed in Baghdad.
How was he killed?
An ambush. They said he died instantly.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Me too. You think this is true? Is one of these faulty vests responsible for my son's death?
That's what we want to find out. And do you know for sure that he had his vest on?
His bunkmate wrote a detailed account of the incident. He confirmed that the private was wearing his vest when he died.
He is due to come home in just a few weeks.
find out what happened to your son, Mrs. Carney. You have my word. Thank you.
Hey, yo, bail me out.
Tempting. Thanks, guys.
Back off! She's with me!
Am I? Seems to me.
Why are you here, Kavanaugh?
I'm worried about you.
Oh, thanks, but I don't need your sympathy.
Massachusetts doesn't have shield laws. By the time you get in front of a grand jury, you'll be an old man.
Give me time to write that novel I always wanted.
I know you're trying to be ethical here, but there's more than one life at stake.
Well, I guess you need to have ethics to understand them.
You got something to say, just say it.
Yeah, you really want to do this here?
Yeah, at least you're your captive audience.
Fine. I'm bloody pissed at you for screwing this up. We had something good going. I thought we were happy. At least I was. And then you had to go sabotage it by jumping into bed with Farm Boy.
I don't know why it happened, but it wasn't meant to hurt you.
Everything happens for a reason, Kavanaugh. Everything. And you know why I think this did? So I could see the real you. Before I did something really stupid.
Hey. You visit Pollock?
Yeah. Wish I hadn't. What's all this?
Chronicle sent over the contents of Pollock's desk. They figure if they cooperate, it'll sway the judge to let him go.
Will it?
Doubtful.
This should crack the case.
Oh, hey, Jordan, I wouldn't open that.
Well, you think you know someone, and then you find out they're on a completely different page. How's that happen?
You're a complicated girl, Jordan. Not everybody gets you. Listen, maybe you should...
I'll autopsy Private Gurney. Find out if his body armor killed him.
It's a good idea.
Probable cause of death is a 3-centimeter blow to the skull.
Hey, have either of you guys seen a pair of glasses?
Try the lab. Since when do you wear glasses?
They're Jeffries. Is this Henry Hurst?
Well, let me get this to the lab and we'll find out.
Wait, Nigel, hold it. Got spider fractures on the wrists and fingers. And the feet and ankles as well.
He was abused?
That many breaks looks like OI. It's osteogenesis imperfecta, otherwise known as brittle bone disease. It's a genetic disorder with a life expectancy of under 10 years.
Death is usually caused by respiratory failure. When you run that for DNA, test for the OI genetic marker as well. If a blow to the head didn't kill him, chances are this disease did.
Woody just faxed this over to you. It's police records for Chad Wasserman. Garrett. Are you sure you want to do this?
I have a right to know who's dating my daughter. Okay?
Oh, hey, Bug. Have you seen a pair of glasses?
Give my best to Brando.
Listen, I've been thinking about what you said to me last week. Trying to figure out a way to move past this.
Lily, it's okay.
No, it's not. You have feelings for me.
And you don't for me, and it is okay. I am over it.
A few days ago, you said it wasn't okay. You said that you've had these feelings for me for 3 years.
I know, and it's weird. The second I told you how I felt, it's like those feelings just disappeared.
So, you're not in love with me anymore?
You know, I have always had this fantasy that you and I would get together, and it has been like a broken record going over and over inside my head. And when I finally heard myself say it out loud, it's like I jumped over the skip. Oh, and you know what? It feels great. I feel like I am facing a whole new world of possibilities.
Oh. Good. Oh, that is good.
Yes, yes. So, thank you.
Oh,
thanks.
Sure.
Okay. See ya.
Hey, I may have found our smoking gun.
Private Gurney. A high-velocity bullet was lodged in his spine. Without protective gear, it would have snowstormed the bone.
Which means...
His body armor slowed the bullet down, but not enough to save his life. What'd you find?
An identical copy of the body armor test results that Clark Cradle gave me with one addition.
With water?
I don't know what it means.
Fire in the hole!
Bug!
Oh, hey, you guys.
Hey, Buck, do you mind?
Sorry.
What's going on?
2 body armor vests made by the Cradle Corporation. The one on the right is the one that Jordan got from Captain Osborne. The one on the left has been worn by a soldier in Iraq for the past 2 years. Now, visually, they both look alike.
Except for one major difference.
Yeah, and here's another. I did a comparative analysis of the microfibers. See how the strand on the new vest is tautly woven, but on the used vest, it's loose.
Why is it loose?
Hydrolysis.
Water.
More specifically, perspiration. The used vest is loaded with sodium chloride. Now, the Cradle Corporation did test the vest for all sorts of Iraqi weather conditions. Sun, heat, even rain.
But they never took into account how much soldiers sweat.
2 years of perspiration has reduced this armor's effectiveness by over 20%.
Over 2,000 U.S. casualties in Iraq. Makes you wonder.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Abby, come on in.
Thanks for the cash. I knew I could count on you.
Actually, I don't have any.
For your message.
I know I lied. Here.
What's this?
It's Chad's police record.
You had him checked out?
He's been busted 3 times, twice for possession and once for dealing.
You really think you should be throwing stones, Mr. Two-Faced DUI? What about your
I
police
think you should
record?
watch your mouth, you know?
I think I'm 21, and you keep treating me like I'm a child.
You are a child. You're my child. I want the truth. Are you doing drugs with this guy, yes or no?
What if I am?
It's the wrong answer.
What are you doing? Give me back my son! Dad, stop it! Stop! Let go of me!
Roll up your sleeves!
Let go of me!
Abby, I'm sorry.
Just go!
Abby!
We just caught a break. Bug found 3 different sets of prints on the altered memo. Pollock's, one he couldn't ID, and Clark Cradle's.
So Cradle knew about the flaw, or at least suspected it. That son of a...
Now, if we could just link him to Sergeant Black's murder. I'm sorry, are those worms?
Thai glass noodles, Sergeant Black's last meal. I removed his stomach contents before the colonel took his body.
Hey, what's that?
Oh, well, it looks like the sergeant had a sweet tooth.
This is totally gross, but I think I know where he got it. Hi, Beth. Sorry to interrupt your lunch, but, you have some explaining to do. Sergeant Black was here the day he died. You gave him one of these.
He came to see Mr. Cradle. I told him he couldn't without an appointment, so he left.
Did he say why he was here?
Look, I'm just a secretary, okay? I don't know anything.
You're way more than that, Beth. You're the anonymous source.
We found your prints on this memo.
That reporter you talked to, J.D. Pollock, he confirmed it. Look, if you know anything about Sergeant Black's death.
I don't.
What do you know? What's the big deal? You've already talked to the press.
If I come forward, I could end up like Sergeant Black. I'm a single mom who'd look after my little girl.
We can protect you.
No. The best way to protect myself is to stay out of it.
Too late. Like it or not, you're in it. You gotta see this through.
Call her, Garrett.
Stay out of this, Lily, please. Nigel, did you get the DNA results on the dead boy?
Affirmative. He's not Henry Hurst.
And who is he?
He is the biological son of Leo Fulton Sr.
And the OI genetic marker?
Came back positive. Think about it. You're a loving father who's desperate to help his sick child. Medical expenses add up, especially on a gardener's salary. You need money, which his employer happens to have in spades. So he makes a rash decision. Kidnaps his employer's son.
for ransom money so he can keep his own son alive. But the plan goes awry. You get arrested before you can collect the ransom and return the child. Your wife moves the boys to Philly under an assumed name.
And while you're sitting in jail, your own son dies.
When the Army approached Mr. Cradle, they offered a year-long timetable. 2 months in, they cut the deadline in half, which meant we barely had time to test the vests. We delivered the order 2 days before the war started.
The altered memo, when did it come across your desk?
The same day Sergeant Black came in.
And these two never crossed paths?
No. I never even told Mr. Cradle about the sergeant's visit. I was going to the next morning, but when I saw the news...
Someone took Cradle off.
I did think this was odd. We won the bid for $27 million, but the starting number on the books was 25.
Which means that somebody pocketed $2 million.
You said the Army came to Mr. Cradle?
Yes.
You have a copy of that contract? Well, oh, well, look who's here.
In the Fultons' grief, they must have decided to keep Henry, you, to raise their own.
But you don't have proof.
Your DNA could confirm it.
Well, you just swab my mouth and just like that, my father's not my father?
We know that this is a lot to take in, but we thought you had a right to know, whatever the truth turns out to be.
My dad came to every Little League game, put me through college. When my mom died, he didn't even leave me alone for one night. If what you're telling me is true, this means my entire life is a lie.
It's obvious the man who raised you loved you very much. That's not a lie.
I need some time to think about all this with everything I have to deal with right now.
At ease.
Colonel! How's your investigation coming?
I'm afraid that's confidential.
That's okay. We already know who killed Sergeant Black. In fact, we're looking at him. We confiscated your clothes at the base laundry, and we found traces of the sergeant's blood on your pants.
How's it feel letting your fellow soldiers wear body armor you know is defective, and then murdering one of them just to cover your money?
What are you talking about?
The $2 million you pocketed for bringing the contract to Cradle?
You knew the vests were faulty and did nothing.
The war was supposed to be over by now, before the vest started to degrade.
Maybe you should have given George W. a heads up on your timetable. Please, get him out of here. They'll try Colonel Worth in military court. Cradle will face criminal charges for accessory to murder and fraud.
The captain's offered to help me organize a class action suit against the Cradle Corporation.
And I'm contacting parents and spouses of soldiers who were wearing vests when they died.
All my research is at your disposal.
And put me on the stand, please. Thank you for all your help. I know I can't bring your son back.
Christopher joined the Army because he wanted to make a difference. Hopefully, this will.
Mr. Fulton.
Hi, Leo. I'm Gina Hurst. I'm your mother.
Hey.
Hey, when'd you get out?
A few hours ago. I meant to be out of here before you got home. My editor thought I could use some time away. He put me on a story in D.C. I'll leave first thing in the morning.
For how long?
Hard to say. Weeks. Maybe months. So.
Hey, you were right in what you said at the jail. I sabotaged this. I guess I need to figure out what I want.
I think you already know.
And what's really pathetic is I actually tried this time. I really tried. I'm sorry.
It's not the first time I've had my heart broken. Probably won't be the last. See you around, Kevin.